Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's Geeks Around. I am your executive producer, DeAno Jackson. Of course, we are here to talk about this week's episode of Game of Thrones, The Bear and the Maiden Fair. Before we get into that, let's go ahead and introduce the panel. Of course, joining me, as always, our host, Matt Moore. What's going on, Matt?
Not much, just melting. Isn't it supposed to be spring where we have rain and stuff?
Yeah, but you live in SoCal.
Yes.
And it never rains in Southern California. Okay, let me stop. Also joining us is Aisha Franklin. We've been missing you for a while. Welcome back.
Thank you.
And of course, last and most certainly not least, the man, Knuckles Goldberg, a.k.a. David Kude. What's going on, buddy?
How's it going?
Another beautiful day in my neighborhood. Hot, much like Matt, but hey.
Yeah.
We're going to hang in there and get this thing done anyway. All right, so this episode of Game of Thrones, like we're what, 7 episodes in right now?
Yeah.
Now, this is one that's like, I mean, every year there tends to be one episode that's written by George R.R. Martin himself. Of course, last season it was Blackwater, which was written by him. This time we get The Bear and the Maiden Fair. Blackwater was a highly specialized episode, of course, portraying the famous Battle of Blackwater as shown in the books. This one, this episode, however, was less actiony and a lot more exposition. But I actually kind of liked it. What did you guys think?
I thought it was kind of awesome. It had to do with a lot of interpersonal relationships between people, a lot of how people view their women in this show. Actually, there was a lot of that. And how those women view themselves. It was it was a lot of interpersonal. It was very cool.
Yeah, a lot of great lines happened on this too. It's like, what did you think of the overall episode, Aisha?
I like how we were able to get more into the minds of each character and what they were going through each situation. So I appreciate this episode for that.
Right on. Any overall thoughts from you, David?
No. Like the episode, the ending was aptly named for the episode. I kind of think it was another setup episode, kind of like last week's, and that we're getting to the end here.
Yeah, definitely. It's like after this one, it's like we have 2 episodes left, and then it's all over for this year. So let's just kick from the top. We normally start things off in King's Landing, so I see no need to break that particular tradition. I cannot talk today. I'm picking up Melissa Carlson's bad habits, evidently, but that's all right. All right, so the first thing we see is, like, I mean, the first thing I kind of want to talk about was this whole conversation in King's Landing between Sansa and Lady Marjorie, as Marjorie is trying to comfort her off of just getting the news in the last episode that she is to be wed to Tyrion Lannister. And yeah. I don't think that's what she wanted.
Yeah, she's kind of freaking out because she thinks, he's a dwarf and he's not the prettiest, and he's not as pretty as my last fiancé, who was prettier than her fiancé before that. That's a lot of fiancés in a very short period of time, by the way.
Okay, I have a comment. Has she not learned anything about not trusting how good of a judgment her men are due to their looks yet?
No.
Seriously?
Yeah, evidently she hasn't learned that lesson. It's like, let's see, her first crush was a sadistic bastard. Her second crush was homosexual. Is homosexual, yes.
And Lady Marjorie starts talking to her about how Sansa may want an experienced man because women are hard to please. And then Sansa totally calls her on it, like, how do you know this? And Marjorie's all like, I'm a good girl.
Yes. like that. So it's just like, did you learn it from your mom? And
yes.
And Marjorie's like, yeah. Yeah, that's it. From my mom, right. Well, let's go with it. and that actually, that line, that little exchange did make me laugh out loud. I thought that was hilarious. It's like, sweet innocent girl. Yes, I learned it from my mother. Like,
So it makes me wonder whether the next queen is going to be a virgin going into her wedding day, or till now.
Of course not.
Nah, doubt it.
Yeah, from the way Marjorie was talking, I really don't think so. But that's not even the biggest problem. It's like I love the scene between King Joffrey and his grandfather Tywin. It's like, as much as I don't like Joffrey, it's like, y'all know how I feel about Joffrey. I don't like Joffrey, but even it's like, the Targaryen girl across the sea with the dragons and shit. Shouldn't we maybe do something about that? Isn't that bad? Call me crazy.
Well,
it's like, I know I'm young and everything, but that just sounds like it's probably something that we should maybe do something about. It's like, I kind of felt about that when it's like, yeah, dude.
That conversation actually started out rather interesting because of the fact that he was sitting on his Iron Throne, making him obviously the most important thing in his mind in the kingdom, let alone that room. And he was sitting like 8 steps above his father, making his father look up to him. Grandfather, sorry. Making his grandfather look up to him. And then, like, finally his grandfather says, screw this, and walks up the steps and just, like, literally lords it over his king of a son of, you know what, boy?
Yeah, I caught that too. Yeah, it was pretty subtle, at least for Tywin, that passes for subtlety. Yeah, it was very clear. Look, you little shit. I am Tywin fucking Lannister. Shut the fuck up.
We can always have you carried.
Oh, yeah.
King's hands.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, you're talking about where the little small council's meetings are. You don't go to the small council's meetings, so why the fuck do you care?
Mm-hmm. It's like, I have to go all the way upstairs.
I might want to go one day.
Yeah. But they're all the way up there, and I'm a lazy little shit. But yeah, so that one, yeah, but really, it's about time that someone started thinking that maybe the fact that Dany Targaryen has 3 dragons that she's training to kill all of them is bad. It's like, seriously, he's the first character to figure this one out. Like, oh shit, this is bad. This is actually legitimately not good.
See, that's one of the things that I kind of miss about Tyrion being the Hand of the King is 2 things. One, Tyrion would have slapped would have slapped him again.
I was so wishing that Tywin would slap him. I was sitting there saying, please, just channel your son just this once.
And 2, Tyrion probably would have gone to Varys and gone, hey, check this out. Try and figure out what's going on, whether this bitch is a threat.
Mm-hmm.
Where Tywin is so egotistical and full of himself that he's sure that nothing's going to come of it.
Exactly. It's pretty ridiculous. I don't know where his mind's at, but it's like Daenerys is a lot bigger of a threat than he seems to think, and we'll definitely get to that a little bit later. Huh?
To be fair, she is a world away right now, and he has to deal with Robb Stark.
Robb Stark has a whole other litany of issues he's got to deal with right now.
Well, including his soon to have kid.
Mm-hmm. And now it's like, it's like, yeah, we're gonna get to that, like, actually right now, but just before that, we have. I got to talk about. It's like we've been bringing up Tyrion. Got to talk about our boy Tyrion as he's struggling with trying to explain to Shay the way that things work and why he has to do this. Shay ain't happy. Not by a long shot.
They have shown Shay in the past to be a more logical female than they portray other females in this show. However, in this, Shay is acting completely emotionally. I think that if Tyrion would have said something simply like, "What should I do? What do you think I should do?" Maybe Shay would have gone, "Well, okay, that makes sense."
No.
Elaborate.
Sorry, she's thinking like a female right now. You're supposed to be my man. You're supposed to stick up to your father. Let's go off somewhere and let's just be together, regardless of what happens. Regardless of the fact that, yes, he can find you and track you down and kill you and throw me back into slavery. Ignore all that. Let's just be together. Stand up to your father.
He wouldn't throw her into slavery, though. He would kill her. He said straight out that he would kill her.
Has Tyrion told her that?
With her physically ever again.
Has Tyrion told her that?
Yeah, that was the entire purpose of them not being together in King's Landing.
Okay. No, she's not thinking that.
So she's just having a purely emotional reaction right now. Do you think give her a few days and she'll calm down and be able to understand that he really doesn't have much options here?
Well, see, and there's also the other aspect that she thought of. She's also considering the fact that, well, here, Tyrion has a chance of being with a younger woman. And like she said, once you're tired of me, I'm no good anymore. She seriously just says she's not sure how Tyrion really feels about her, except for just she's accessible for sex.
That makes a lot of sense. However, when it comes to Tyrion is obviously looks at prostitutes and think, maybe I should marry this woman. Because he's in love with Shay, and if he could, he would marry her. And that would be the second prostitute in a row that he's done that with.
He
just doesn't have that choice.
Yeah, but she doesn't know that.
Dan says, I wouldn't see why she wouldn't.
Yeah, he told me about
the opposite of it.
Yeah, she knows about that.
Sansa is the opposite of that. I mean, he wants nothing to do with that.
Yeah, but if there's one person that's very much a fan of this whole thing, it's fucking Bronn. Ooh. Oh man, it's like just the two of them together. Anytime the two of them, Tyrion and Bronn, are together, it's almost guaranteed hilarity. And this time was no exception to that rule. It's like he's practically goading him on.
You threw me off for a second there because when you said Bronn, I thought Bran. I was very confused for like half a minute there. Like, too many of these names are too close together. Damn it.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
But yeah, Bronn was totally screwing with him. That was pretty funny.
Yeah. This is like I really just kind of like seeing their relationship, but as the question still comes up is Tyrion really doesn't have a whole lot of options now at this point. It's like he's gonna have to go through with this, and he very likely realizes that. Now, conspicuous by her absence was Cersei. It's like I wonder what the hell she was up to during all of this. We didn't see her in this episode.
Don't know. Maybe she was off planning how she's going to get out of her marriage. Speaking of marrying someone who is entirely too young for you.
What were you going with this?
Oh, Cersei's marriage. She's also marrying someone who's entirely too young for her.
Yeah, entirely too young, and I don't see the two of them getting along in bed. We'll just leave it at that.
I don't agree. She can turn around.
Oh, God. And we're just going to move right along. I can see the angry YouTube comments now. But also in this, we have the big revelation as the Red Witch finally explains to Gendry exactly who in the fuck he is, and answering a question he's had to have been asking himself, namely, the whole "why is everybody trying to kill me" thing.
Now, maybe I've misunderstood, but I could have sworn that being a bastard makes it to where you have absolutely no rights towards your family's anything.
As far as my understanding, that's true, but in this case, I think she's more concerned about the royal bloodline. because
Okay.
there's power in that, and she's gonna do something with the Red God, the Lord of Light, and I don't know, shoot out another shadow thing out of her pussy. I don't know.
And this time it'll be Locke instead of. Oh wait, wrong show.
Yeah, wrong show. But I don't know. It's like it's very clear that she has plans. Like I just wonder. It's like because now for the first time he knows the truth. It's like it's seriously the first time he's ever known exactly who he is. So I just wonder how that's going to affect his character going forward. Let's see. I think that's about it for King's Landing. Let's just head up to the Riverlands. Let's do that. Let's start off with Arya, I suppose. Yeah, actually, that's a good place to start off since we just finished talking about Gendry, because Arya is extremely pissed off at the Brotherhood for just giving up Gendry to the Red Witch. She is not happy in the slightest.
Yeah, she's mad at him for letting Gendry go, selling Gendry basically. Also for letting the Hound go. Which, of course, comes back to bite her.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's a pun in there somewhere.
Yes, I told you we'd be seeing him again soon.
And, of course, when asked who her god is, she straight out says death.
Yeah, which I'm surprised memes haven't been popping up all over Google Plus with that today. I admire the restraint.
And it's kind of interesting because an insight I read is because I'm starting to read other people's reviews before doing this. Something that someone brought up, which was kind of interesting, is that the many-faced god, which is the god that one guy, the assassin, worshipped, is the god of death in Westeros.
Oh.
And earlier in the episode, or maybe it was the episode before, Arya was naming practically under her breath all the people she wanted killed, which some people would consider as prayer to the god of death. Like she straight out is praying to this god, whether she knows it or not.
That's an interesting point. That's a very interesting point. I've forgotten all about that.
There's a lot more to what she said than just off the cuff remark. Like it seemed, when she first said it, it sounded like it was some impetuous saying from a little girl, but it might have been quite literal.
Huh. Or if there's anything going to come with that, it's like, well, right now, again, she's in another situation where she has bigger problems to deal with as she's trying to run away from the Brotherhood, because apparently it's like they're breaking their promise and not taking her to River Run. She runs across her old friend the Hound.
Which, David, what do you think she's going to do with what do you think the Hound's going to do with her? I have a theory. Oh wait, you've read the books.
Yeah, I can't say. I know.
I think she's going to become a hostage. I think he's going to use her as leverage.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Leverage for what in particular? Like what? Take her back to King's Landing, or do what?
I don't know.
It's like, I mean, the only one that really wants her would be Rob. But what does he have to gain from Rob? It's like,
I'm not sure. Maybe favor. Maybe not from Rob, but at King's Landing. Maybe he wants favor again.
Okay, it's like I guess I could see that, but the problem is, like, I mean, even there, who in King's Landing wants Arya? Joffrey doesn't really give a shit. Who has any stake in Arya right now? It's like, well, I guess they could that if if the Lannisters had her, they could use the fact that they have her as leverage against King Rob. but it's so confusing. Who knows who's where? Isn't, as far as Rob is concerned, that it is already in King's Landing right now?
Yeah, I believe Rob thinks that both Sansa and Arya are in King's Landing. Yes.
Right. They never let out that Arya wasn't still in King's Landing.
Right. See, it's hard to remember because she hasn't been there since like the end of fucking season 1.
Right.
So it's like, a long time later, and it's like, and they still, yeah, she's there. It's like, dude, I don't even think she remembers where the fuck King's Landing is anymore. Yeah, that's right, because that was the whole purpose in Lady Stark having Brienne
Send Jamie.
Send Jamie back to King's Landing was to get her daughters back. Right. Okay. Whew, a lot of stuff going on. Hard to keep it straight. Without notes. I make notes. It's like, yeah. And you know what? That is my viewer question. If you are watching this right now, that is my question for y'all. How the hell do y'all keep everything straight? It's like, because it's like, as a fan, I guess it'd be one thing, but it's like doing a show on it, it gets really, really hard keeping things straight unless you're someone like David or someone who's read the books, which I haven't yet. It's like I have to keep notes on everything, and it's like, this person's here, and these are the people that know that they're here, and these people don't know, and these people think they're over here. And
I've read a book and a half, and I can tell you that I stopped at a book and a half because even reading the books, you have to take notes. You have to take more notes.
Yeah, the only reason I really understood was like, because I started reading Game of Thrones after I'd already seen the first season of the show, so it made sense to me because it's like I was relating it to things I already knew. I think if I was reading it just straight out, I'd be like, I'm so confused.
I did that. When season 1 came out, then I started reading books, and now I'm on like book 5. But I don't know.
Yeah, but that's your viewer question. So go ahead and hit the comments. Hit me back on that because I'm curious on your guys' perspective out there in YouTube land. Okay, so moving on from there.
I'd say we go to Bran because that is the other young sibling.
Let's do it.
Bran's kicking it with Joven and Orell. How close am I?
It's Joden and I think it's Marine Reed.
Okay, I was. Oh, Orell is the other one.
Mm-hmm.
It's Tonks from Harry Potter.
No, that's Osha.
Osha, okay.
Yeah.
Hey, you're getting there. The only reason, again, notes. I love notes.
It starts with an O. And has an E in there somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, he's being taught about the visions and Tonks. I'm going to call her Tonks now.
Fair enough.
Is all freaking out about the black magic. She thinks it's evil and all this other fun stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's like, and then once the word gets out that they are headed back above the wall, oh, she ain't having that. And then it's like she told a very emotional story about pretty much how the man in her life, the man that she used to have, became a White Walker and tried to kill her. Which is, yeah, fair enough. That happens to me. It's like, I don't think I'd want to go back either.
Yeah. And so, of course, that kind of leaves them on competing goals. Because Bran just wants to find his bastard brother. And, yeah, Osha doesn't want any part of it anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and speaking of John, it's like at this point he's just kind of wandering around with everyone else. Like it's like, well, it's like are they? They're headed toward Castle Black, right? That's the plan for the Wild Wings at this point. Head to Castle Black and get themselves all killed.
Yeah, they're probably a few hundred miles away from Castle Black. Because they.
I never got an idea of about how many people were going to Castle Black. I mean, you never see more than like 8 people at a time.
Yeah.
Climbing the wall, there was like 4 on one side, 4 on the other. I mean, there might have been 6 on one side, 6 on the other. You never see more than a few people.
Yeah, so what's the battle strategy here? Is like that. Yeah, I'm with Matt. I don't get it. It's like, yeah, there's a few thousand of those. Well, fuck it. There's 6 of us. We can totally take them. It's like, okay, guys, you're not Daleks and they're not the Cybermen. All right, you can't take that many.
I think they're just going there to kind of sabotage the gate that they have at Castle Black. At least that's what I would assume that they're doing. Because there's not very many of them.
You were about to say something, Aisha?
Well, I was going to say, according to Jon Snow, they don't have a strategic plan. They're just basically using the element of surprise in that we're the Wildlings. We're the badasses, so no one can defeat us. Forget the fact that, our ancestors were defeated 6 times. Forget that.
And that's just it, is Jon Snow refused to use the pronoun us. He kept saying you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you guys have lost 6 times. Like, it's not going to happen. Which, of course, Ygritte kind of took issue with.
Yeah, that she did, but it's like she still is like, I mean, even after that, showed her loyalty is completely to him. Now it's like I also got a kick out of it's like finally Orell stopped all of his passive aggressive bullshit and flatly admitted to Ygritte how he feels about her, talking about it's like, well, John's not good enough for you. You should be like a man like me, because me, yay me. You just like him because he's a pretty boy, but me. It's like I thought he was going to continue all that passive aggressive shit that he's been pulling. Honestly, it's like I didn't expect him to have the balls to actually go ahead and come out with anything like that.
That's just it. I don't think that he actually has strong feelings for Ygritte, no matter what he says. Because if he did, he wouldn't have tried to kill her an episode ago. He wouldn't have cut her line. I mean, if he was in love, he would have done everything he could to save her, and not been like, you know what, you're holding up the group.
Yeah, true.
But
Does
is
Laveline even know what love is?
I want to know what love is.
I agree with you, David, because he basically just told Jon Snow earlier his whole philosophy. We do what's convenient at the time. That's what we live by.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so right now he's like, wait a second. The hottest wildling here is with this pretty boy, not me. It's pretty convenient for me to hit that. Why are y'all laughing? I'm serious. That's what he's thinking. Am I wrong?
The wildlings obviously don't have a problem with used goods.
Evidently not. I think it's one of those grass is greener kind of things.
Well, I think they're all used goods.
I also have
so?
a question.
North of the wall.
I have a question. Has anybody ever noticed a pattern that people who claim themselves as married use the phrase, you are mine and I am yours, and that automatically means they're married?
That seems to be something very specifically to the wildlings in this case. Because the only people I've heard say it, of course, is Ygritte and, damn, now Matt's got me doing it, Tonks, Osha.
Okay. I was just wondering.
See, I've been trying to not see her as Tonks this entire time, and now Matt just fucked it up.
Sorry, when watching this episode, I was just imagining her shake her hair out in it changing color. Like, that's all I saw when she was bending over Matt.
Thank you very much,
Her
Matt.
shaking her hair and it turning purple.
Thank you very much.
But it's like, I mean, we have a lot of people in the show that are in dire situations, but it's like I think no matter what your situation is, you can always sit down at the end of your day and say, at least I'm not Theon Greyjoy.
I knew you were going to go there.
Wow. Seriously, what are they really doing with him?
I would have ignored that horn. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, it's like, yeah, definitely. Particularly if you knew that was the last time that you might get Good God. It's just cruel what's happening to Theon. It's like, I mean, before it was mean. It's like, I mean, even in the last episode, it was sadistic, but it's like, it's getting to the point, it's like, dude, seriously, leave him alone. What
Just kill him already. Kill him already.
Yeah. It's like, this kind of sadism is like, I mean, there's gotta be like an actual rational reason behind it other than the reason Simon from Misfits said he just enjoyed it. Okay, seriously, what the fuck is his name? I can't find his name on my notes.
Let me see.
His name in the show?
Yeah.
He doesn't have one yet.
That would explain how come it's not in
Ramsey
my
Bolton.
notes.
Shut up, Matt.
Ramsey Bolton?
Ramsey Bolton.
Oh, well.
Yeah, way to spoil it for everyone. We'll take that out in editing. They have not revealed that yet.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, they've not revealed he's a Bolton yet?
Nope.
Oh.
I don't know who Ramsey Bolton is. As far as I know, he's the chef from all those TV shows.
Yeah, that makes sense. We'll go with it. YouTubers, you did not hear that because I ain't editing shit.
But yeah, it was a rather interesting episode to have the two hot chicks kind of grind on them to make it easier to castrate them.
Yep, and Matt called it last week. It was like, we got lots of tits and lots of ass in this episode.
Yes.
So it's like, good call, Matt. That's pretty much what happened. It's like, I mean, it's just, I mean, damn. At this point, what else do you do with Theon? What else do you do? Just, I don't know, just fucking break both of his legs, cut his feet off, cut his tongue out. What? It's like, I mean, what else? It's like, where's the end game here?
I think I think it would be more torturous to actually let him go right now than to torture him more, because him living life without his cock would be an ongoing torture. Which, by the way, brings our total to 50,002 castrated males in this show.
Yeah, really though. For those of you at home keeping score.
Yes.
Wait, no, aren't there 40,000 unsullied?
No, it's 50,000.
Oh, okay.
50,000. So that makes 50,002 because Various and then now Theon.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we didn't see it happen to Theon. We're only assuming. Kind of cut out.
Yeah, cut out. That's kind of the idea.
Right.
Yeah.
Somebody had to say it. I'm sorry. I couldn't just leave that lying there.
Yes, it's not going to be the last pun of the day. You should read my tagline.
Yeah. It's like I caught it. It's like I'm already thinking about what this was going to mean. Let's see. Where have we not hit? Let's go ahead and cross
We
the
haven't
narrow
hit
sea.
Rob. Yeah, we kind of skirted on Rob.
That's right. Well, that's true. It's like, let's go ahead and hit that. It's like, with Rob, is like, for me, it's like, honestly, the most important part of this to me was finding out that Queen Talisa was pregnant. Everything else I was kind of ignoring.
I think it was kind of interesting that she hadn't told her parents that she's a frickin' queen. Like, how do you not mention that? Oh, and by the way, P.S., by the way, I happen to be, the most powerful woman in the North.
Yeah. Love you too. Bye.
Wow.
Yeah.
To be fair, there is no North anymore. I mean, Winterfell's pretty much burned.
Well, yeah, but...
Yeah, I'm sure they'll get around to addressing that eventually. Just weird timing on the whole baby-making thing.
Yeah, maybe with Tyrion's sons, maybe they'll get around to that.
Tyrion's son?
Right, because that's why he's marrying Sansa, so that they can try to control the North.
Yeah.
True.
But for some reason, when he was going on about battle strategy for like the whole 5 seconds from the time he got up from the bed to the time he started talking to her about why she was writing the letter, it seemed that he was on his way to Casterly Rock, but he might have hit a snag on his way there. At least that's what it seemed to me. Is that
No, they're on their way to Edmure's wedding with the phrase.
Oh, maybe that was it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the wedding that Edmure didn't want to have, that he was kind of forced into having because of Rob. Okay.
That makes sense.
Right, yeah. Now I get it. It's like I really wasn't paying attention during that scene.
And Aisha is
I
a
don't
fuzzy.
think they mentioned it, just that we already knew from last week that's where they were going.
I wasn't paying attention then either. Can't lie. All right, let's see. Before we get to Harrenhal, which we're gonna end on that. Let's go ahead and cross the Narrow Sea right quick. And Daenerys is once again trying to make another deal. Looks like wants to, I don't know what, solidify her role as the freer of slaves.
Right.
Yeah, it was interesting because she was offered a bunch of money. She was offered ships to go on to move on and all that other fun stuff, and she's all like, nope, I'm gonna free the 200,000 slaves in that city. Like, you don't have a choice.
Exactly.
And her title went on forever. It's like Daenerys Stormborn, who's done this and done that and done the other thing. Yeah. And oh, by the way, she's the mother of dragons.
Yeah. It was a pretty long title, but it's like, I mean, they were pretty desperate. It's like, oh yeah, we're going to be generous. It's like, here, have some gold. You want gold? Yeah, gold's good shit, right? Ship, anything you want. Just leave us the fuck alone. Just seriously, just leave us the fuck alone.
Well, I mean, she did free like 50,000 slaves without taking a single death on her side.
Yeah, and that's pretty intimidating. But it's like, this city is like, and they were talking about it as like, oh, we have powerful allies. Hell, even like what powerful allies are they talking about here? It's like, I mean, even Jorah didn't know what the hell they were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it should be that should be interesting to see how it plays out, because Daenerys doesn't seem like she's particularly interested in taking prisoners here. It's either you're going to do what I say, or I'm pretty much going to kill all of you. But if you do what I say, free all your slaves and whatnot, then yay, I'm going to let you live. Doesn't that sound like an awesome plan?
Something I was just thinking about is that while the city has 200,000 slaves, very few of them, if any, are going to actually be able to help her, because they're going to be like house slaves, and they're going to be like farm slaves, and they're going to be like they're not going to be martial slaves like the Unsullied are.
That's true, but there's a lot more you need in an army than just fighters. You need people, you need cooks, you need people to build shit. It's like, I mean, they would be useful, just not on the front lines. As far as the front lines are concerned, the Unsullied can take care of that themselves.
Plus, she wouldn't necessarily take them as soldiers. She'd tell them she can go if they want.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then she has her own little neat little city as a staging ground.
Yeah, exactly. It's like if they just ransacked the whole city and just took it. Yeah, it's like they'd finally have a headquarters instead of just, wandering about the desert, which they've been doing since, the show began. Right.
Do you think she has the enough strategic will to use the free slaves as spies? Since they know they land, they can go around and tell her more information about things?
What about things on that side of the Narrow Sea?
Yeah. Therefore, go ahead.
I was going to say, I don't think she has the strategic mind for it, but she does have two people, well, three, standing next to her who have been very good advisors to her.
Mm-hmm.
And at least a couple of are going to have pretty strategic minds.
Okay.
Yeah, I would think so. 2 episodes left to get something on and popping. I was like, let's see what happens. All right, finally, let's get to the stars of our show over at Heron Hall. We have it's like Jamie. It's like ever since the revelation last week of why Jamie killed the Mad King. It's like I've kind of seen Jamie in a new light. It's like, I mean, he's still an asshole and he still crippled a fucking kid, but he had reasons for doing what he did, way back then. He had reasons for becoming the quote-unquote Kingslayer. And
Yeah,
like there is honor in him.
He might actually be a second good Lannister.
Mm-hmm.
I should say major Lannister character, because the kids don't count.
Yeah, not really.
Dead kids don't count.
Yeah. Well, they could come back as White Walkers at this point. You never fucking know. But
well, there's also Joffrey's brother and sister.
Oh yeah, huh? I forgot he had fucking siblings.
Yes.
Where the fuck have they been?
Well, Tyrion sent the daughter away to.
Right, when he was the Hand.
Yeah. And Tommen is still there with Cersei, I guess. We saw him at the end of season 2.
We did?
Yeah, she was. Remember, she's going to kill him and then herself before her father came.
Oh yeah. That was forever ago. But yeah, I do recall that. Okay, yeah, that did happen. All right, but it's like with Jamie actually seeming to be a redeemable character that has honor. It's like he's giving a shit about what happens with Brienne.
Yeah, after he leaves her behind, which he did very begrudgingly, when he realized that she was possibly going to be raped. At least that's what I got out of she's going to be entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
Raped and then killed.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
He came back to get her.
Yeah, very much demanded to be taken back to get her. It's like I kind of thought that was cool. It's like, I mean, he was home free at that point. It's like I can just go back home, everything will be fine, except for this whole I'm missing a hand thing. But you know what? What it is, what it is. But it's like, oh shit, something's gonna happen, Brienne. Fuck, I gotta go back. And then it's like, and then he gets back, and they have Brienne in a pit, holding a wooden sword with a giant fucking bear. It's like, I mean, and that's fucked up. But it's like, I mean, obviously this was just meant to, to entertain the guys and whatnot. Obviously, Brienne doesn't stand a chance. It's a fucking bear, and all she has is a wooden sword. That's kind of the point. But Jamie to the rescue! So Jamie whips off his AK-47 and his lightsaber, jumps into the pit, and slays the bear in one go. Oh wait, no, that's not what happened. He jumps.
Whoa! Don't have a Kodiak arrest. It was barely a fight.
You've been waiting all this episode to do that, haven't you?
Yes, I have.
It's called preparation, people.
Good God. No. Jamie's plan was far greater than that whole AK-47 and lightsaber thing I was talking about. What he does is he jumps into the pit armed with,
one hand.
Nothing. It's like I'm sitting there staring at the screen. I'm like, Jamie, you don't have a sword, and even if you did, you don't have a hand to use the sword. So your plan is to be eaten before Brienne gets eaten. That's a fucking great plan, Jamie. I'm glad you're here to rush to the rescue. Yes, Brienne, don't worry. Jamie Lannister, I'm here to be the appetizer before the bear eats you too, and you can be the main course.
Why didn't you grab someone else's sword and throw it into the pit?
Yeah, something. It's like, yeah, she can use a sword, a real one. He could have done something. Instead, he just says, "It's like, get behind me, get behind me." I'm like, get behind you for what? What the fuck are you gonna do, dude? You don't have laser vision. You're screwed.
Obviously, the good side of him still needs more practice because the villain side of him knows exactly what to do.
Yeah.
So he still needs more practice in being the good guy.
I suppose so. I don't know if it wasn't for Steel Shanks starting to shoot arrows at the bear, they'd have both, which gave them time to get out.
Right.
They'd have been bear food.
I thought it was kind of impossible for him to climb that wall with only one hand.
I was going to say that too.
Yeah. I was like, I don't know how that happened. It's like, okay, reach up and grab something, and then you can, I don't know, kind of work up your foot, and then exactly what? And then the other hand has to kind of go somewhere to help pull you up. It's not like you can let go with your left hand. So you're just kind of there hanging going, this is great. I'm safe from the bear until my arm gets tired, which should happen in 3, 2. So it was a weird plan, but at least it shows how far that Jamie's come. And as a matter of fact, that's not even the thing that showed me the most how far Jamie's come. The thing that showed me how far he came is what happened after that. Mainly the fact that he just left. I was expecting him to push that son of a bitch into the pit with the fucking bear.
Yeah.
I was waiting for that to happen. It's like he's standing right there in front of you. It's like there is nothing they can do. They know they can't touch you, otherwise they're fucked. They know that. Take his ass, throw it in the bear pit. It's like he just tried to kill Brienne. He chopped off your hand.
What good Jamie does.
Huh?
I guess that's not what good Jamie does.
I guess not.
Yeah.
He needs a little bit of dark side up in there. It's like, that was crazy. It's like, come on, man. Just I know you're trying to be a Jedi now, but just force choke this bitch one more time. One more time. I mean, come on. It's like I don't care how good you are. It's like I there's no way I'd have let him live. It's like if that was you, would y'all have just walked away? Who here would have just walked away and let this motherfucker live?
No, I don't think so. No, not after chopping off his hand and trying and trying to kill the woman that has tried to save your life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's a viewer question for you guys too out there. It's like if you guys were in Jamie's position right then, and it's like you had just rescued Brienne from the bear pit, you're standing right in front of the dude that tried to kill her and the dude that cut off your hand earlier. You know that there's nothing that anyone else around there can do to stop you. Tell me you wouldn't have killed him, and if you tell me you wouldn't have killed him, I also want to know why. Leave it in the comments. We'll read them next week. But it's craziness to me. It's absolute madness. But now it's like, okay, so he's got Brienne again. They're back together and headed for King's Landing. We have 2 episodes left. Any wild speculation?
I have one.
Go for it.
Jamie's sister's going to kill Brienne.
Fascinating. Explain.
There can only be one woman in Jamie's life, and that is his sister.
Okay. Obviously, David, you're banned from wild speculation, but Matt, you have anything?
Well, I just want to point out that we have 3 episodes left.
Huh?
You've been saying
you're right. 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah. Duh. Sorry, y'all. This is Monday. Yep. 3 episodes left.
I had to search online to make sure it was indeed episode 7.
Yeah. Not so good with the maths.
Wild speculation? No, I can't think of anything. Yeah. I'm sorry, I fail.
Oh no, I was like, this is a show that's like hard to wild speculate for. It really is because so much is going on at once. It's like it's hard enough for me to keep everything straight that's actually is happening right now, let alone the things that could happen. But we'll figure that out. It's like we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up for this week. Let's see. Oh, closing out, one thing I wanted to let you guys know, we're going to be planning another episode of Geeks It Around. Not the regularly scheduled one for next week, but we're doing another one this week for the 3rd Iron Man movie. Look out for information on that on geeksitaround.com. Tomorrow, the show will probably be live on Friday. If you have anything else you want to shoot at us, go ahead and send us a message at geeksitaround@gmail.com. Of course, feel free to join the Google Plus community. The link for that will be in the description. We will be back here next week talking about episode 308 of Game of Thrones, Second Sons. Until then,